What's up, y'all? I just want to touch on something related to the Tupac assassination theory. There's a certain someone that keeps every day posting a new video. He's on this kick right now to try to expose the truth, and he thinks he's got all this bombshell evidence. So anyways, I've been sitting back watching the videos. I mean, honestly, I respect the guy. You know, anybody that's a fan that puts together videos, you know, I don't have anything bad to say, I guess, but I just can't sit back listening to people who keep putting together these videos and sharing false information with people. They're telling lies, or they read one side, say, you know, you got the murder rap people, which I would identify more with, even though I don't even agree with 100% of that. But then you got the Tupac assassination people. And this guy, you know, he's a Tupac assassination guy, obviously, but he doesn't even know anything about the other side. You want to have an informed opinion, and you want to sound intelligent. You want to sound like you know what you're talking about. You need to know both sides. You need to know the rebuttals that murder rap has had for Tupac assassination and the rebuttals Tupac assassination has had for murder rap, so you know what side you really believe in. You can't just watch the Tupac assassination documentaries, watch their videos, read their books, and then just say they're right just because that's all you know. So the thing I'm going to start on with today is the whole theory, or you know, the whole incident with Frank Alexander and the security, right-way security, being told they couldn't carry their firearms in Vegas the night of September 7th, 1996. Okay, so let's start off. I'll keep it short. You know, I'll keep these videos short and try to upload frequently. But let's start with this. Okay, so obviously it's no mystery. Everyone knows that they had a meeting at, I believe his name was George Kalisis, the attorney in Vegas. They had a meeting there with Reggie Wright and the right-way security to discuss not being able to carry their firearms the night of the shooting. So I'm not debating that happened. I believe it happened. I believe that they were told they're not able to carry their firearms. So the theory goes, Reggie Wright and, you know, whoever else, right-way security, Sharita the Wright, whoever else was, you know, involved, told them that they weren't able to carry their guns so that Tupac wouldn't have an armed guard on him that night to defend himself. Okay? And that Michael Moore, the only person who wasn't willing to give up his firearm, was pulled from Tupac, so Tupac only had Frank Alexander on him, and he was a sitting duck. Okay, so that's the theory, and that's been going on. People have been talking about that for a decade now. So it's based on some fact, but it gets skewed and twisted, and it takes on a life of its own, and it's not what people make it. So let me break it down like this for you. And this is the truth. These are things that came right out of Frank Alexander's mouth, came out of people's mouths that were there. This is what happened. They're told they're not able to carry their firearm in Vegas, right? Everyone says, well, you don't need a permit to it's open carry in Nevada. You don't need a permit to open carry. No, you don't need a permit to open carry in Las Vegas. But guess what? You do need a permit to conceal carry. Two different things. Concealed carry, you do need a permit. You don't believe me? Look it up. Google right now, Las Vegas, Nevada, gun laws. You need a permit to carry a concealed firearm. You have for decades back, since way before 96. Okay, so you do have to have a concealed carry permit to carry a concealed weapon in Vegas. Okay, I don't know how many security guards for rappers, especially in the 90s, are walking around with their gun on their hip or their rifle over their shoulder, but that's not a smart thing to do. Exposing yourself, everyone lets you know, okay, that's his security. If I'm going to shoot him, I'm going to take that dude out first. He's got his gun showing, obviously he's armed. Open carry, I think, is stupid in my opinion. It makes you a sitting duck. Anyways, so yes, you do need a permit in Vegas if you want to conceal carry, and that's fact, that's law. You can look it up, it's the truth. Okay, number two. All right, so not only do you need a permit to conceal carry, but Reggie Wright and Frank Alexander, there's a recorded phone call, okay? Frank Alexander, with his own words, said, I was told I couldn't carry it on me, but I could keep it in my car. Okay, so what's the problem? Okay, what's the problem? You can keep it in your car. You're not, okay, so he didn't have it on him at the MGM Grand. It's a casino. They sell alcohol there. I don't even know if, I'm not 100% sure on this part, but I don't think even with a permit, if you can take a concealed carry into 662 or into a casino, I don't think you're allowed in the US to carry a firearm into a place that sells alcohol. Okay, so I don't think that he could have had it on him in these buildings anyways. So he would have had it in his car from leaving the Luxor or the MGM, going to Shug's, then going to 662. He would have had the gun in his car with him, just like he was told he could by Reggie Wright. Okay, now, the only reason, which Frank did have the gun in his car, he has said many times he had the firearm in his car. So the only reason he didn't have the gun with him is because he left it in his car. And as they were leaving the Luxor, he went to open up the door to get in the back of the BMW, and Pac threw him the keys and said, hey, you drive the Outlaws. We're going to be drinking. We need a DD, a designated driver to, bring everybody back tonight. You drive Kadada's car and go with them. Frank was thinking, shit, I don't have my gun on me. I need to run and go grab it, but they're in a hurry. I don't have time. And he didn't know what to do. So he just said, fuck it. And he got in the car and started driving. He's even said that they were in such a rush that he was driving on E the whole time and didn't even know how he didn't run out of gas. He said from going all the way to Shug's house, sitting there for a while, then driving all the way back towards 662, he still to this day didn't know how he didn't run out of gas. They were in such a rush, he couldn't even stop for gas. So the last thing he wanted to do was say, oh shit, hold on, wait a minute. I need to run way across the other side of a Vegas casino parking lot and grab my gun out of my other car and put it in here. Okay, so, I mean, for all you conspiracy theorists, are you trying to say now Tupac was in on his own murder? The only Tupac was trying to prevent Frank from getting his gun out of his car? No, okay, so, basically, and don't get me wrong, I like Frank Alexander. I think I've read his books, I've watched his documentaries, he seems like a nice guy, and like that he truly cared about Tupac, but still, at the end of the day, it's his fault for not being more prepared. He was able to carry the gun. If he would have planned ahead, or if he would have done something, he could have had that gun in Kadada's car. He could have gone and ran and grabbed that gun and brought it back and put it in Kadada's car. Just like Reggie Wright told him, you can have it in the car, just not on you when you're going around. So he was able to have that gun on him in a vehicle, which it was his fault for not making sure he had it in the car with him. Okay, so that, I guess that's pretty much it. My whole thing is, a lot of people make it into this big ordeal that they were told they couldn't carry their guns and it was a conspiracy to try to get Pac to be alone with no security. And let me tell you this, I think even if Frank did run and grab his gun or whatever, and that's the other thing, if Frank would have still needed to go grab his gun, because he could have carried it in the back seat of the BMW if he did ride with Suge and Tupac. He could have just left it in the car when they went into 662. But my thing is this, okay, so people try to make it into this big thing, and it's really nothing more than a series of unfortunate events that kind of spiraled out of control. It was almost like a perfect storm. Everything just had all the wrong things just happened in a row and left him, stuck without somebody to protect him. But like I said, I think even if Frank would have planned ahead, been smarter about where he was going to have his gun, known, hey, we're going to be going to 662 later, my gun's in my car, maybe I need to run downstairs 10 minutes early before everybody else, grab my gun so I can put it in the BMW or whatever the plan was. But I think even if he did have that gun in the BMW, he probably really wouldn't have been able to do much, because by the time he noticed what was happening, you hear pop, 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 and you look up, all of a sudden you see the shots already ringing out. By the time you pull out to shoot back, they're already probably fired off 7-8 rounds and they're already finishing up, about to take off. Yeah, you can return fire, maybe hit one of them, maybe return fire and, you know, prevent them from getting off those last 5 or 6 shots, which could have saved him maybe. But, you know, in reality, when somebody is pulling a drive-by and, you know, you pull your gun out and shoot, you can fire off, I think it was, what, 14 to 16 rounds. You can fire that off in a matter of under 5 seconds, easy. So I don't think that him having his gun would have really changed a whole lot. I think that it's just one more thing that people try to use to fuel their conspiracy, just another thing, you know. So anyways, that's my thoughts on it. Though what I'm saying is true, it's fact. Frank has said that he was told he could have the gun in a vehicle with him. So the fact that he didn't have it in Kadada's car, Tupac's car, was a little bit of poor planning on his part. And yeah, so you know, and like I said, it is state law in Nevada that you have to have a concealed carry permit to carry a firearm in that state. Okay, so no permit for open carry. You do need a concealed permit for concealed carry. It's kind of like in some states, I know in Texas, for example, you get arrested and you have a switchblade in your pocket, you can get arrested for carrying a concealed weapon. So, you know, even though it's not an illegal weapon, since you had it concealed, it can become illegal. So anyways, you know, if you want to watch more of these videos, click subscribe below, click the bell if you want to be notified. But I'm going to be touching on a lot of stuff. I'm going to be touching on, you know, DPG and their involvement. Were they in Vegas that night? Were they not in Vegas? What are some other things? I'm going to be touching on that. I'm going to be touching on, you know, just everything with that conspiracy theory, the little half-dead thing, Sharitha Knight, the Patton brothers, the confession letter. I'm going to be touching on some things with murder rap that I do agree with, some things I don't agree with, and just everything. You know, I've got some rebuttals. I just want to be able to speak my piece. I've been a Tupac fan. I'm only 30, about to be 32 years old, so I'm not that old, but I've been listening to him since he was alive. I started listening to him in 1995. I was only 11, about to be 11 years old, but I've been a Tupac fan for over 21 years, and, you know, I've read and watched both sides of it, you know, the alive theorists, the Tupac assassination, the murder rap. So I know a little bit of it all. I'm not an expert, but I do feel like I know more than the average person. So I just want to say my piece and kind of put an end and give somebody a channel they can come and get some real information that is backed up with fact and, you know, realness, and not just all this, you know, people talking. They watch one documentary and come up with their opinion, and they start telling it for fact. And you got people all over the world who are Tupac fans that they watch these videos and they start believing that shit just like that. So you got all these fans being told that one thing this day, one thing this day. People's minds always changing. People don't know what to believe. And not saying that I have all the answers or I know everything, but, you know, I know what's not true, at least some of it. I mean, at least, you know, a lot of it. I can tell when I watch someone's video, I can tell if that person knows what they're talking about or not. You know, when somebody says in their video that a week before Tupac was killed, him and his manager fired David Kenner while they were on the set of Poetic Justice, that lets me know that person doesn't really know the timeline of Tupac or his death. They would know that Poetic Justice was filmed long before September of 1996. So anyways, it's just little things like that that start to make me question people's credibility. So I want to be able to give people some real information, and yeah. So anyways, click subscribe below. I'll be posting another video either later tonight, maybe tomorrow. But anyways, click subscribe, and I will see y'all later.